Hello and welcome to the Glad You Knew Football Podcast. Here with me is Christian Onchuri, Evan Urbina and Nicholas Gabriel. This week we speak with Federico Vassallo, a coach from Insuperabili, a foundation in Italy that gives disabled footballers an opportunity to play football. This foundation is supported by giants of the game, from Buffon, Papu Gomez to Giorgio Chiellini. Federico tells us how there's no difference between able-bodied and disabled football because all the footballers at Insuperabili want to do is play and win. I really find it hard to believe and hear about the prejudice people have towards disabled people, and initiatives like Insuperabili, which affords disabled footballers the opportunity of living their dreams through football, is so beautiful. Hopefully, Insuperabili might be a catalyst for change in society where disabled football becomes mainstream, and one day all countries have their own Insuperabili. But before that, let's get stuck in with another Glad You Knew Football Podcast. Federico, for our listeners out there who wouldn't know what Insuperabili means, it means insurpass. But what actually is Insuperabili and how did it come about to give disabled footballers an opportunity to play the game in Italia?
Disabled football now in Italy is no professional football. No, I'm working with Davagna as head coach first team. And Davagna is not professional football. Here in Italy, we have professional football, not professional football, and amateur football. We have a difference between not professional and amateur. So, not professional, for example, a club can be in the future a professional club. So, Insuperabili now is considered not also is probably every disabled club is considered like a not professional club because the movement is new. If you try to think that Insuperabili born in 2012, it's 8 years, and the first the new teams, the new club, disabled clubs arrived 5 years old. 5 years, sorry. So the movement now is new, and disabled football is not considered like professional football or female football. I think that in the future, disabled football will be considered ever more, and honestly, I think that in the future we could see World Cup, Disabled World Cup, Champions League World Cup for disabled players, I think. Because the way is that everyone could play football, but now it's a little movement. Even if I'm happy, because it's managed disabled football by FIGC, our federation, Italian Football Federation. So this is a great opportunity, a great thing for our movement, and it's great because every team is a professional club with first team disabled players. So like female football, because if you think Juventus has female football, female first team, disabled first team, and first team able-bodied male. So it's so great. I think that it's a pleasure, it's an honor.
It really is so great to give people the opportunity who were forgotten about in the conversation
in football. So how big is the organisation in Italy? Is it mainstream, the understanding of the actual organisation? And can you tell us a little bit more who set up the foundation?
Insuperabili is too big because it has 16 academy in all part of Italy, and we have a unique method. Okay, every academy has to follow training method. We have also a technical director for Italian technical director, Insuperabili, and the project is to unite, so to unire, yeah, all the academy, because everyone is Insuperabili, so it's important to maintain the identity. You can find Insuperabili, with Insuperabili you can find a great organization, because we have a supervisor, technical director. We not also for technical, so football knowledges, but we have a psychologist director, organization director, or executive director. So it's we have a hierarchical order. So it's probably teach me how much is important to be organized, how much is important to respect the position, no? In the specific of my job, we have, for example, training card to follow. Okay, every coach has to or better, cool create the training session, of course, but we have to write the training in a specific card, so we can share our training session with the other academy. And then at the end of every training session, we have to do checklist. Checklist is a valuation that every coach have to did for every players. So at the end of the season, we can see the way, you know, that every players do. And what else? Also, yeah, every match, at the end of every match, we have to do reports. When I have to do match analyst, not also. I have to do the report, match report, and video report. Probably is that. Another thing is that every month we have goal, technical and tactical goal, and every academy have to respect this goal. So how you respect this goal, it doesn't matter, or better. For example, this month, the goal is kick. Okay, every academy respect that goal, but how, it doesn't matter, or better. I think and write my training session, and I share with the other academy, the specific with a technical director, to try to improve our academy, our coach, every school, every coach, every academy. Speaking in Genoa academy, for example, because Insuperabili has 16 academy in all of part of Italy, like Genoa, Turin, Milan, Rome, in Sicily, and other parts, but now I don't remember. My position is head coach of first team in Insuperabili Reset Academy, Genoa, and technical director in Insuperabili Reset Academy, Genoa. I'm match analyst, and before I was match analyst and assistant coach for first team Insuperabili Serie A, because like every able-bodied club, we have a championship. Serie A for special, Serie B for special, and Serie C for special. These are like able-bodied professional club, no? who win Serie B for special, the next season could play in Serie A for special, no? And Insuperabili has a team for every championship. So Insuperabili has an academy in Serie A, Serie B, Serie C, and in every team, in every championship, we have a team. Now I'm working for Serie A, Serie B, Serie C for special. It's a big, very, very big project, Insuperabili, like a professional club with so many coaches, so many psychologists, of course. So another important thing is that every academies could play other championship. For example, here in Genoa, my team, my first team, play an amateur championship with able-bodied players. The most important championship are Serie A, Serie B, and Serie C, of course.
I'm interested to know, though, Federico, why are you glad you knew football came into your life?
I love football, okay, first of all. And I began to play football when I was 16 years old, till I was 22 years. So I decided to give up after an injury. And I don't remember the first moment when I fall in love with football. I can say football is with me since my birth. No, I think that it gives me too much, and I want to continue to stay with this sport. I really love football. In fact, now I'm a coach, and so I can answer to your question, because for me there is not a first moment when I fall in love with football and when I realize that football is, we can say, my life. Okay.
We are glad you do love football, because even if it does drive your fiance crazy.
My football life was very strange, because when I began to play football, I wanted to be a professional player like everyone. No? After, I was so unlucky, because before I could go in a professional club, in academy, but I was too small. After, when I arrived to play with a first team, not professional, I had great chance to become a professional player, but I hadn't the great mentality. And after I began to have so many injuries, I began to be a coach when I was 18 years old, to obtain few money, and now it's my job and I don't play football. It's strange, I know, but football is football for me. It's important to live with football, not nothing else.
Was it a dream of yours to play one day when you first started playing? Was it a dream to, play in the Serie A one day instead of coaching, and then all of a sudden?
As coach?
No, to play, and then to play professionally.
My dream was when I was 16, more or less. I would like to be a professional player, but honestly, I couldn't. I was so fast, normal technique, but nothing else. And I'm happy that my way bring me now in this situation as coach.
Going on as a coach, how is it different, your enjoyment of coaching, than when you were playing the game? And how can you see the differences in, what you see on the field and what you see on the touchline? What are some of the differences there?
They are very different, because when you are in the game as coach, for example, and you have to be focused, not also where is the ball, for example, but you have to try to see all and to understand what's happening, to make maybe great solution, great strategical interview. When I'm, for example, match analyst, everything changed, because you are out of the field. I can see the game better because I'm height with fans, and here change the perspective when I'm a coach in the field. So the difference is emotional, and you can see better. For me, match analyst is a easy job. Respect the head coach. It's so easy. You don't influence by emotion or perspective. You can see all without problem, and you can leave the game as a coach, as a coaching staff that stay with me, or players. So the difference is this for me.
I find it totally different though, being a match analyst with no feeling, no emotion. You're picking the pieces through the game. So how did this emotion and feeling come about that you have this understanding about disabled footballers and how they feel and see the game?
Disabled players are like able-bodied players. They want to win, they want to play, because you can be a reserve, for example, no? And it's the same. They want to be able to improve. I can say that disabled players show me how everyone could play football. And football is not only for few people. Everyone could play football, and they show me that everyone could obtain the same aim, but in a different way. For example, I can pass the ball with my internal part of right foot, for example. A disabled player couldn't, and he used a different way to do a passage, but he obtained the aim. I don't know if you understand the concept. So
he hits the target, basically.
Yeah. So disabled player for me is like work with able-bodied player. Disabled players have problem, physical or cognitive problem. They can obtain the same aim, but in a different way. The solution is different. The aim is the same. And this is my idea, not also with disabled players, but everywhere. When I have to speak, I know who is in front of me have good characteristics and bad characteristics, we can say, no? And I try to improve their bad characteristics, and in the same time, I try to show the good characteristics.
So you're saying about like the vision and the aim is a bit different. Do you think that the coaches of Insuperabili, sorry my pronunciation, have the same beliefs of how to play the game, but also like how to understand the people you work with? So like, do they have the same ideas of how to play football, but also how to deal with all the players?
It's not change the idea, okay? For example, in everything is the same, not also with communication, but tactic is the same. I try to, for me, coach, there isn't a standard coach, okay? Everyone is a coach. Federico is a coach. My idea is that there is no a standard coach, because every coach have to have an ability of observe and adapt. Everyone have to have great knowledges and skill, and every time you have to adapt to team needs, what is around of you, no? So the game doesn't change. I have to change to be useful for the other. The coach has to be a support for the other, and not the other have to adapt to the coach. Coach is one, players are the more. So for me, when I have to work with able-bodied or youth, adults, and disabled player, myself don't change. I try to be myself, and I try to adapt. So the game, the communication, the training method, everything is the same. Of course, change by team needs. So I can say that Really, there is no different. Football is football. It's a complex sport, but in the same time, for me, it's easy. You have to score, no, in the opposite goal, and you have to not take a score in your goal. No, it's easy. Every coach has to be powerful to understand where he is. No, the society, the fans, the field, the players, the championship, the opposite, the training, the coaching staff. It's a like a complex system, no, with different element compose the system, and a little variation could change the system. So every coach have to live in the system and understand what is happening, what is the great solution to take. Solution like communication, you have to change. It's like an empirical researcher to be a coach. There is no rule.
You touched on a little bit before about there's not much difference between able-bodied and disabled players in your mind, but you also touched on, you were saying about needing to change and adapt. How do you personally change to your surroundings and adapt as a coach? How do you do that personally?
Yeah, when I speak, for example, with disabled players, I speak like able-bodied players. I try to see him like able-bodied players, or better, like a able-bodied person. Before the players, we have a person, and this person, like me, like everyone, can do something. So I try to see him like a person, not disabled or able-bodied. I try to understand who he is in front of me and nothing else. I try this. For me, the idea is everyone is a person and nothing else. They want to be normal, we can say, like us, and like a person, normal, like a person. We have person, and this is important for me, is my approach.
So right, Fede, and because obviously they can't dream of playing in Serie A, but through this competition of playing in Serie C, Serie B, Serie A, in this competition that Insuperabili creates, has this given them an opportunity to actually dream and actually have a future? And what was it like for these kids before they actually started playing?
The dream is realized because we have Serie A, Serie B, Serie C like professional club, and our players could play against Juventus, Milan, because in this three championship you can find Juventus, Milan, Turin, Novara, Sampdoria. The only club that it has a first team, able-bodied first team, is Insuperabili. The rest of the professional club has a disabled team too, first team. So the dream is realized. The difference is, of course, Serie A able-bodied is has more follower respect Serie A for special or Serie A female Serie A. I can say that Insuperabili try to give job opportunities to their players and to help them in daily life. I have to say it's the same, like able-bodied football, because when you see children play and be happy and smile, it's an incredible emotion, no? But I have to say that football is one of the best sports in the world. Why? It's easy. Because it gives us emotion. If you have emotion, you begin to love, no? Football is able to give us emotion. And like able-bodied, like male or female football or disabled football gives us emotion. So it's the same, no? Don't change anything. the dream, not mine, but for the players, is to be able to play football like a professional players. So during your life, you only to train, to work out, and to be a player, like a able-bodied professional players. Now it's impossible because there are few money.
So knowing you're an educated man, Federico, how has your experience studying a sports science degree affected the way you coach, especially with these players with disabilities?
Yeah, I attended in sport degree, and now I'm ending the master.
Yeah.
For me, it's important to have more knowledges because coaches are empirical researchers. So because you have to adapt. So if you know the more, and at the same time you try to improve your skill, you can be a great coach. I myself, and I try to improve myself. The other doesn't matter. So sports science degree was important for me. I love sport in general. I played football till I was 22. So I love sport and I love football. A great studying way for me was to study sport and study body. So I decided to follow this way. It helped me so much because you can understand different training methods. It's important to continue to study and don't stop. No, to be a coach, you can't stop. You can't. Every time, every day, every week, month, every season, you have to improve yourself.
Yeah. How has coaching at Insuperabili made you better as a coach? Is there any specific examples or things that you've seen improve in yourself as a coach there?
Yeah, Insuperabili give me the opportunity to manage big coaching staff, no? Because now, for example, I'm a head coach also in Insuperabili Reset Academy, no? And with Insuperabili, I have 4 or 5 coach with me. Every coach has different knowledges and skills. So it's important to manage them, understand how they can help me to do a great job, no? To be useful for me and for the team in general. So Insuperabili giving me this opportunity, yeah, to understand how much is important to have a staff and be able to work and collaborate. I really think that, for example, alone, I have 2 eyes, nothing else. With 3, 4 person, we have 8, 6 eyes, and more perspective with different experience, with different knowledges. We can together do a great job. So Insuperabili give me that.
So, Federico, I'm interested to know the effort you made with understanding your clarity about what is important to you of what you do and what you want to achieve as a coach. It's a hard question, I know, but have a go at that.
What do I want? So I would like to continue to go on to do a foreign experience maybe, and I don't know, because I try to live my present. Every coach can think about the future, about the next season, about what he would like to have for the future, because to obtain the future you have to work in the present. I work every day to improve, and then we will see where I be the next season, in the next seasons.
In 6 years, we'll be saying Nagelsmann and Sebastian Hoeneß who with your coaching journey that you're on. Does that give you belief and confidence within yourself, seeing these coaches, they're so young, making Champions League, going far in the Champions League and doing well in the Bundesliga as well and in major competitions.
In Europe, there is a great competition, and I try to think about myself, no, and I study every day the other coach, and I try to understand, no, how every coach, professional like Nagelsmann, Guardiola, or here Gasperini in Italy. I try to study football and understand how they can do this, no, because when we see a match, we see the result of a weekly work. I try to understand what they do during the week. I try to confront with a professional coach. I don't have, for example, a favorite coach. I try to learn by them, by everyone. But Conte is Conte, Ancelotti is Ancelotti, Federico is Federico, and my great teacher Patrizio Bruzzo is Patrizio Bruzzo. Everyone is everyone, and the only thing that I can do is to watching them, analyze them, and take what is important for me, no, to take in my knowledges for the future. Okay, so this is my idea, my way to live football as a coach.
Yeah, it is obvious you're doing an amazing job, Federico. I'm also wondering how it's like to have well-known players like as Chiellini and Buffon part of Insuperabili, and what is the impact with the charity there as an athlete, like a.
We have Insuperabili, has professional players, and not also professional players, but professional coach as testimonial. They are testimonial for Insuperabili. Insuperabili is a great project, one of the best in Italy. For example, Buffon goes to Insuperabili Turin Academy to stay with our players and speak about football and life in general. They don't go to the academy every day, every week, maybe 1-2 times in an entire season. Yeah. But when they go to the stadium, our stadium is a wonderful, amazing moment for our players because they can see their idol. It's an incredible moment, and they can speak about everything, about life, about football, about emotion, how they feel the match, and also testimonial, give to Insuperabili shirt, try to help to get money, to be able to help the club, because Insuperabili, like every club, to go on, have to spend money, testimonial, try to help it.
It's honestly just amazing. I've seen that video, the young kid who had the experience meeting Ronaldo, and just the joy and emotion football brings within all of us. And
yeah, Ronaldo is not our testimonial. We have Papu Gomez, we have Chiellini, Buffon, Perin, a lot of players, and Marcello Lippi too. So, but Ronaldo not. Cannavaro, yeah, but not Fabio, but his brother Paolo. But now he's in China, I think. Yes. If I remember.
Guangzhou.
Yeah. Donnarumma, yeah, Donnarumma too, and Gantz. Not only male professional players, also female players like Saragama.
The centre back.
Yeah.
Juventus.
of Juventus. Yeah, the captain of our nation. So we had Insuperabili has a lot of testimonial. Like coach, I can say that I leave them when they go to the stadium to stay with our players, and it's wonderful to see the eyes bring because they can see by idol or professional players. Professional players is their dream, no? They would like to be a professional players like them. So it's a wonderful moment when they arrive to the stadium.
So the quote, il calcio è di tutte le persone che lo amano. Football belongs to all people who love it. What does this
Great
mean to
pronunciation. It's right. Everyone could play football, no? Everyone could play football, and disabled players show me that everyone could play football and everyone could obtain the same aim in a different way. And this concept, I try to transmit this concept also in able-bodied football. For example, Quaresma don't use left foot. He use only right foot, and he have to use the left foot. He use the external part of the foot, right foot. So what is the concept? The concept is that everyone could obtain the same aim, but in a different way. Quaresma don't use the left foot. He try to use completely all the part of the right foot to obtain the same aim. And disabled players do the same. They can passage the ball, kick the ball. They can tackle, but maybe in a different way. So it's important because when you have to work with players, it's not important if able-bodied or disabled. You have to understand, to watch what is and how, and after you try to adapt yourself to him and for the specific or to the collective, for the entire team. So il calcio è di tutti, yeah.
Federico, we've all read Insuperabili's mission, and that is to give disabled children the opportunity to dream like all other children of a future in football. You've touched on it a little bit, but how do you help players of Insuperabili to be inspired and dream? Like, how do you pick them up from where they are and lift them to this dream that they can make it and play and be happy and all that?
Football is a sport, no? Every sport give us important lessons. To don't give up, to continue to work hard, to do the best every time, no? Not also as players, but as a person. This is the important, no? I work a lot with emotion. How many times we remember a moment because we feel a big emotion, no? It doesn't matter if positive, so a good moment or bad, but when you feel a great emotion, you remember, and you can learn something, no? Not also when you win or when you lose, you remember, but also when you do a great action, a great movement, I don't know. When you do something and you feel a great emotion, you can remember. And so you can learn. This is football, emotion. We have to live and be able to use emotion to go on.
So, Federico, speaking about your coaching, what lessons have you learned about yourself as a coach, emotionally, mentally, through your experiences over the last years? Obviously, you had a very busy last 2 years. What have you learned from those two? It's a big question. I'm going to ask a big question.
Incredible.
Scusi.
No problem. Yeah, I'm. As I said before, I'm 24 years, and it's my sixth season. Yeah, sixth season like a coach. I did the different position in this 6 years. I was coach, assistant coach, technical director, fitness coach, and match analyst. So I did so different position in football. The most important lessons that I learned is to manage, continue to think about myself, my team, and nothing the rest of the movements. No, because football is not so only beautiful. No, we can find bad moment, bad situation, like life. Football is like such as life. No, so in these 2 years, I'm really happy because before, first of all, I obtained my first team head coach position for my age, 24 years. To manage adults is so incredible, amazing. I can say, yeah, the most important lesson that I learned is to collaborate with staff and how you can be important in the staff depends of your position. No, when I was assistant coach, your rule is different. No, respect when you had coach, but you are important too in a team, in a club. There is not also only the head coach and few players. You find everything. No, head coach, staffing coach, players, top players, and normal players. Okay, but you find that, and I learned to respect every rule and how much is important to respect it, and what you have to do, and what and how you can improve the job, but not your job, the job of the team, of the staff. So improve that, please.
And speaking of your job currently coaching the players of Insuperabili, I find it emotional imagining the experiences of your players, the fight for acceptance and dealing with the injustice and intolerance of disability. It just breaks my heart, Federico. So how do you believe we as a society should understand disability?
People have to understand that everyone have disabilities. Okay, for example, disabled players can do something, but they can do other thing. No, other. For me, it's not important to divide it. No, able bodied person, disabled person, white, black, Chinese, doesn't matter. It's important to understand that you have in front of you a person and nothing else, and every person can give you something. There is no different for me. Yeah, society, but not also with not only with disabled disabled person. For me, the secret is to begin to see the person and nothing else, and try to watch, understand the features of every person. It doesn't matter, really. It doesn't matter if it's a disabled or other.
On a final note, Federico, we would want to know what you would like the people to know about Insuperabili. You'd want, if someone would have to take away one thing from, what would you want it to be?
Insuperabili is a professional club with disabled player, and it's one of the best projects in Italy, but not also in Italy, I think in the world. And Insuperabili is part of football movement. No, we can find female football, male football, and disabled football. Insuperabili isn't disabled football, but it's football. So Insuperabili is a project for disabled players, and where everyone could improve itself, not only with knowledges and skill, but as person. So Insuperabili is that, and nothing else.
Federico, when I think of Italian football, I think of Juventus and the legendary player Giampiero Bonaperti, and Juventus's motto, winning isn't important, it's the only thing that matters. With your experience at Insuperabili, have you realized there's more than just winning in football?
Oh, it's a radical phrase, no? Winner is the all important thing, yeah. But if we try to think, when we play football in a match, we want to win. So, like everyone, when you play football, you want to win. It's important to learn to win, to be a winner, and learn to be a loser. When you be a winner, you have to understand what you have to do to continue to win. When you lose, you have to understand what you have to do to win the next time. So every match that we play, we want to win. But to win, we have to do it the best, to work hard during the week. And if we win, okay, it's a great moment. We are happy, and we have to continue to go on to improve. When you lose, it doesn't matter. If I did the best we did the best. Sorry, because it's a collective sport. When we did the best, and we lose, we have to understand how we lose and what is important now for us to win the next time and to improve. So to win is the goal of a football, no? When you see children play in a field, or adults or disabled person, or I don't know, when you see a match, you can find two teams, no? And like a fight, one of them want to win, no? It's the sport, no? A fight, and you have to understand and to learn to manage this situation when you be a winner and when you be a loser. So it's Insuperabili, like every match of football, you can find a winner, a loser, and you have to learn to be a winner and a loser.
And thank you for helping us understand Insuperabili and about disabled football and regular football being the same. So we really appreciate you helping us explain that the football is a beautiful vehicle that has the power to unite and bring people together. I think it's just incredible what your colleagues and what your friends are doing to help grow the game and give these amazing kids and people dreams. So thank you again, Federico.
Thank you to you and to your staff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Glad You Knew Football Podcast. If you would like to know more about issues that matter to you, tune in to our Glad You Knew Politics Podcast. Also, don't forget to subscribe at Glad You Knew and at Glad You Knew Football on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And if you'd like to get in touch with us at Glad You Knew, email us at gladyouKnew@gmail.com. We think you'll be glad you knew.